The engine's low rumble reverberated through the car as I gripped the steering wheel, the darkness outside the windshield swallowing the beams of my headlights. The rain tapped a haunting rhythm on the roof, and the occasional flash of lightning illuminated the desolate road ahead. I swallowed hard, trying to shake off the unease that had settled into the pit of my stomach. My friends had warned me against driving at night, especially on this stretch of road that cut through the heart of the dense forest. They said strange things happened here, things that defied explanation. But I had brushed off their warnings as mere superstitions, convinced that I could handle whatever the night had in store for me. The rain intensified, blurring my vision and making the road glisten like a treacherous path of obsidian. I turned up the radio, hoping that the upbeat tunes would dispel the growing sense of dread. As I rounded a bend, my headlights caught a glimpse of a figure standing on the side of the road. A hitchhiker, drenched and disheveled, with a hauntingly vacant look in their eyes. My foot instinctively eased off the gas, but something deep within me warned against stopping. The stories of phantom hitchhikers echoed in my mind, and I sped past without a second thought. Minutes turned into hours as I continued down the winding road, the rain showing no signs of letting up. The forest seemed to close in around me, branches looming like skeletal fingers reaching out to snatch me from the safety of my car. I blinked rapidly, my eyes growing heavy from the monotonous rhythm of the wipers. That's when I saw it, a flicker of movement just beyond the reach of my headlights. I slammed on the brakes, heart pounding as my car skidded to a stop. My breath caught in my throat as I strained to see through the rain-soaked darkness. Was it an animal? A trick of my tired mind? But then, emerging from the shadows, a figure stepped into view. A child, no older than 10, their clothes soaked and hair plastered to their face. My heart wrenched in my chest as I remembered the stories of a child who had gone missing in these woods years ago, a child whose restless spirit was said to still wander the road in search of their way home. I fumbled for my phone, my trembling hands making it difficult to dial. I had to call for help, for someone to come and find this child before it was too late. But as I looked up from my phone, the child was gone. The rain continued to fall, the forest stood still, and there was no sign of the ghostly figure that had been there just moments before. Swallowing hard, I put the car back into gear and pressed on, my mind a whirlwind of fear and confusion. The road seemed to stretch on forever, each mile feeling like an eternity. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched, that unseen eyes were following my every move. And then, just as suddenly as it had started, the rain stopped. The clouds parted, revealing a moon that cast an eerie glow over the landscape. The forest now seemed more sinister than ever, shadows dancing between the trees like malevolent spirits. I rounded another bend, and there, in the middle of the road, stood a figure. My heart pounded in my chest as I realized it was the hitchhiker I had passed earlier. How had they gotten ahead of me? My foot instinctively hovered over the brake, but something told me that stopping was not an option. As I approached, I could see that the hitchhiker's clothes were torn, their skin pale and lifeless. Their eyes locked onto mine, and a shiver ran down my spine as I saw the emptiness within them. Without warning, they lunged towards the car, their fingers scraping against the windshield, and a blood-curdling scream tore from my throat as I slammed on the gas. The road became a blur as I sped through the forest, my heart racing faster than the wheels beneath me. I dared not look in the rearview mirror, fearful of what I might see. The world around me had become a nightmare, a twisted reality where the rules of the living no longer applied. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. The trees gave way to open road, the moonlight casting a calming glow over the asphalt. I pulled over to the side, panting and trembling, my hands still gripping the steering wheel as if it were a lifeline. I sat there for what felt like an eternity, trying to make sense of the horrors I had witnessed. Was it a hallucination brought on by exhaustion and fear? Or had I truly encountered something beyond the realm of the living? I may never know the answer, but one thing was certain. I would never drive this road again, especially not at night. The darkness held secrets that were better left undisturbed, and I had learned that the hard way.